Welcome back to the Old Colony Cast, a podcast about all things Plymouth and surrounding areas. I am Andy, your host. See, 7 years, I finally got it down. And also joined by our other host, Hanna.
Hi.
And our holly jolly editor, Fish.
Ho, ho, ho.
I
said holly jolly, like Green Giant.
Green Giant. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, the problem is I started and I'm like, well, this is wrong, but I don't want to dig out of it, so we're just going to plow through.
All right. This has nothing to do with anything. You also said you might have an update.
I swear to God, I thought I did.
If you think of it.
Yeah. I'll just shout it out in the middle of whatever you're talking.
So,
it will somehow be page 5 of her notes.
I know, right? This has nothing to do with anything we just talked about, but the ho-ho just reminded me of...
Santa Claus?
No, of...
Snack cakes?
Dracula. Count Dracula. The Count, sorry.
Oh, wait, what? I have so many questions.
All right.
Count Dracula or the Count?
No, just the Count, but
from Sesame Street.
You're going to see where my brain just like messed up and what me and Donnie just played a game the other night. This is just an anecdote. This has nothing to do with anything except something very funny happened the other night, and poor Donnie has to just live with me. Okay. So we have this game, the game where you like have a person or a character like on a card. You pull a card. You show it to the other player, and they can only answer yes or no, and you ask them yes or no questions to try and narrow down who it is on the card. You're guessing who the character is.
It's kind of like Guess Who I Am.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah. And so we just got it. We'll play it sometimes. And so he showed it to me, and the character was Count Dracula.
Okay.
And in my brain, I read the Count.
So it's a word, not a picture.
Yeah, no, it's not a picture. Yeah, okay. It's a word. So I read the Count, not Count Dracula. So like, he held it up to me. We first make sure we're honest. Like, if I don't know the character well enough or he doesn't, then like we don't play with that card. But I'm like, the Count, he knows the Count. So it's Count Dracula. So we get to Sesame Street. He breaks it all the way down to Sesame Street. And he's like, is he blue? And I'm like, no. And then sometimes we'll give hints, and I'm like, maybe someone might call him blue. I definitely wouldn't, and you definitely wouldn't. He's purple. Yeah, he's purple. Yeah. But in my mind, I could hear someone being like, the Count's blue. I don't know, something stupid, right? Yeah. And then one of the questions he asked, is it 2 names? And I said, yes. So then finally he guessed the Count. At the end he goes, the Count is not 2 names, first off. And then he held up the card and it just says Count Dracula. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, because he was losing his mind. Yeah. He was like, there's no Sesame Street character. Like, what are you talking about? Like, he could not figure it out.
Isn't his full name Count Von Count?
Maybe.
Oh, maybe.
But he, yeah. Reminded me, like, just ho-ho. Yeah.
I kind of really like playing games like that with married couples, because there's that, like, they're supposed to be on the same wavelength because they're married. But then there's like that weird like disconnect because they're married. Like I can't remember what game we were playing, but like
I couldn't breathe. I was wheezing so hard. He was like, "Are you serious?"
My friend was like, "Oh, where I'm going on Tuesday," and they're like, "The dentist," and they're like, "No, where I'm going on Tuesday." They're like, "The dentist," and it like became like this couple's argument about like, you should know where I'm going on Tuesday, and it's not the dentist. Like, no, I'm pretty sure it's the dentist. And like, it wasn't like the answer wasn't changing. It was hysterical.
Oh my, yeah,
so much fun.
So that's what broke it down. Anyway, it has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But Donnie,
is it bigger than a bread box?
Yes.
Is it from Sesame Street?
No.
Is it a bird?
Yes.
Is it a brown bird?
Yeah.
Is it a bird that's related to a holiday?
Yes.
Does it go ho, ho, ho?
Well, yes,
ho,
it does.
Ho, ho. I mean, does it go?
Yeah, you got it.
I kind of, she gave me a hint.
Earlier. I know. We're talking about turkeys. Yeah. Andy.
I'm not super smart. I had a hint.
He naturally segued into it earlier before we were recording.
So, Hannah, what's a turkey?
I don't know. What's a turkey? I don't know. Sorry. That was stupid. So, this
so
was
the country was founded in.
This is not on the list. Yeah, we're talking about the animals turkey. But
I mean,
as I was driving around my neighborhood the other day, I passed a
flock.
It's not called that. I'll save that till the end because that's my favorite part.
Okay.
And if you know it, don't say it.
I want to say an annoyance of turkeys. And I'd be like, if it's not, it should be.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So I drove by some, and it's so close to Thanksgiving on the day that we're recording, right? It's like almost a week away.
Yeah, just about a week away.
Yep, just less.
And I thought,
And parade day's tomorrow.
I know.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? We have yet to talk about these beautiful birds.
Okay.
So we're going to get into it. So turkeys exist only in the Americas, and there's only 2 species of them.
Really?
Yes. Isn't that crazy?
That is kind of interesting.
So
they're like our kangaroos.
yeah, there's a very similar species like in Mediterranean Europe, but they're not. It's not turkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they are in North America and Central America, but technically the ones in Central America are just in Mexico. They're not like outside of that country. So the wild turkey, which is its official name, the wild turkey, is just the one in North America, and the ocellated turkey is found in Mexico.
Oh, I've seen pictures of that. That's a pretty bird.
Isn't it?
It is a very pretty bird.
It's like if peacocks and turkeys kind of mixed.
Interesting.
They're very, and I was like, so do you know how Mexico's stones are like, what's the word? Turquoise?
Yeah.
Like this bird, like, I don't know. It just looks like, I'm like, this is like a turquoise bird. It looks so pretty. They're a little bit better looking than ours.
Oh, wow.
So the flesh, I'm going to get into
That
it.
is a great way of explaining it. It does look like a peacock and a turkey kind of, got down.
Yes. So males are in this genus are the bigger of the birds and with more distinct feather patterns. So as we know, that's like pretty common in birds. Mm-hmm. The males look a little bit prettier for mating reasons.
Yep.
Taking care of their flock reasons, all sorts of things. Both species, I like this, I'm finding this out. Both of them have a fleshy wattle
Okay.
called a snood.
Interesting.
And that's what hangs down like around their beak.
Yeah, that's like little.
That's their snood.
Their snood.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's snood with you?
That sounds like a Dr. Snooze thing.
I know.
Dr. Seuss thing.
The North American wild turkey has, like we were just talking about, more of a red flesh. So like their head area is more red. And the ocellated turkey has...
It's like a disco turkey.
Yeah, it's like turquoisey and I don't know. I'm like, maybe it's just because of like where I'm from. I have this bias, but I'm like, yeah, the Mexican turkey looks way more like
way cooler,
regal. I don't know
for sure. Yeah.
Yes, I'm like, wow, that thing needs to be like a show bird.
Yeah.
Compared to ours, which is like really, I guess like of the area, they're really camouflaged.
Yeah.
Here. So like they just blend.
Yeah, the only time they look cool is like when the male is kind of like presenting.
So speaking of turkeys and peacocks, I don't know if I've ever told you guys this. I'm going to guess I have because I've told you guys a lot of random things about me growing up in Plymouth. So I grew up across from Ellis Haven Campground.
Okay.
In West Plymouth.
Sure.
Not like directly across, but through the woods and across first street before it. And they had peacocks that they got forever ago. And then, so they're obviously they're domesticated. We do not have like wild peacocks, but they became like feral peacocks.
Yeah, they're kind of wild now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's because of the fact that there was an actual peacock population in my neighborhood. Mm-hmm. I didn't see a turkey until I was in the 8th grade.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's another reason for that.
Okay.
I also don't think they were super common when I was younger.
No.
Turkeys?
So, yeah. Well, no, he's right.
Yeah. No,
like,
I
remember like when I was playing catch with my brother in the backyard of our house, and a turkey just wandered into the yard.
They're
and
everywhere now.
Yeah, but they weren't everywhere at the time.
They
like
weren't.
I don't think I'd ever seen one before.
Did they change like the hunting season or something?
They did a lot. I'll tell you in a second. So we did not have peacock. I mean, we had peacocks. We didn't have turkeys. The peacocks were our turkeys. So you'd be in the yard, and then like the harem of peacocks would just walk through, or peahens, and the peacocks would come through. We'd hear their call
Yeah.
Like, have you guys ever heard it? A peacock call?
Yes.
Yes.
Sounds like someone saying help kind of a little bit.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Anyway, so I remember telling like people outside of my neighborhood, my mom's friends, my family, I'd be like, oh, when the peacocks are in the yard. I had a collection of peacock feathers.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes,
Yeah.
like the huge ones. And some people would challenge me on this and go, do you mean turkey? And I'd be like, no. It's a peak. It's blue. It's huge.
Yeah.
It has 9-foot feathers. I don't mean a turkey.
Yeah.
I think I would know the difference.
A friend of mine that works or used to work at animal control, they get calls all the time about them because they'd be like, oh my God, there's a peacock on the loose. They're like, it's not really on the loose. It just lives here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And so...
Okay, I do want to make one point. These are, you're talking about specifically male birds, right?
Peacocks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because
Peahens are the ladies.
Yeah.
so the collective term is peafowl,
Yes.
Yeah.
which I just, as the bird guy, I feel like I need to point out.
Yeah, I did mention peahens as well.
I only learned that like, I'm going to say 20 years ago when I played Zoo Tycoon.
Nice. Any tycoon is...
They're fun games.
Yeah, they're good. So, we had... Our school bus would have to stop to
the
let...
peacocks?
Yes.
Oh, that's
to let
funny.
them cross the road.
Sorry, the peafowl.
I know the generalized term is peacock,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's obviously just the male. So anyway, people would challenge me on that constantly. And as an 8-year-old, there's not, I'm like, I don't know how
Like
to...
that Hanna girl lies a lot.
I don't know how to convince you that I know the difference. But in reality, hadn't really seen a turkey in real life. I
Yeah.
didn't until I was in the 6th grade. Or like 7th grade. So the turkeys evolved 20 million years ago. Their cousins are the
Dinosaurs.
grouse and pheasant. But they are the largest birds in like their genus or order, I should say. And the wild turkey of today is actually the result of domestication 2,000 years ago.
Interesting.
Yes, from indigenous folks. And then the turkeys in Mexico are of the same result too.
Yeah.
Both have been domesticated at one point, and that's how we have the turkeys we have now.
So a domesticated turkey now, is it a domesticated wild turkey?
Okay, they're wild, right?
Okay.
Because the domestication phase is long gone. They're no longer being kept anywhere, right?
Turkeys?
Wild turkeys? I'm just talking about wild turkeys. I know that there's turkeys we raise to eat.
So that's a different thing.
Those are completely different.
Oh,
those
okay.
are bred like what are they called? Not feeding turkeys.
Meat turkeys?
And we'll call them meat turkeys. There's another word for it though.
Okay.
They do the same. It's like the same with chickens. There's like they're specifically bred to be larger, fatter,
Okay.
hold
all
more
right, all
fat.
right. I just kind of like, you're like, there's two types of turkeys, so I just assumed that like.
No, so those are in a completely different ball game. Those
Okay.
are those turkeys are technically any captive turkey is from a I shouldn't say that because I'm sure there's wild turkeys in rehabs. Whatever. I'm talking about.
Wild turkey in rehab?
I feel like
there's jokes there. Let's
just walk right past that one.
So those turkeys that we see are now like another bred form.
Okay.
Like that's like how people get different species of
like dogs. And stuff.
Dogs,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes, not species, but different breeds of
Breeds,
dog.
yeah.
This is like another breed of turkey from the wild turkey.
I got you.
But it took a while to get there.
Yeah. Okay.
And they are a different thing, and
Okay.
they would be not as adapted for actually living outside
Right.
because they're just not.
They don't know how to get food. They're always looking at their phone.
I think their instinct to forage is still there, but their build is different.
Yeah.
The turkeys that we see are built to run quickly on the ground, fly. The ones that are made for farming are unable to fly.
I'm just very confused by the runs quickly. I've never seen one run quickly. They just usually stand in your way.
I've seen them run.
Yeah.
They can. They choose not to.
Yeah.
They're like the cats of the bird world. I'm not a fan of turkeys.
Okay. So the ocellated turkey arrived in Europe before the wild turkey, and it's because Spain had gotten to Mexico first and brought it over first in 1519, and it wasn't that long later that the North American wild turkey made its way over. In Mayan culture, the ocellated turkey held special meaning, they think, because they see manuscripts with ideograms of turkeys like being like part of, I don't know if they liked them. Like, that's a really pretty bird.
Yeah.
I don't blame them.
So they didn't. Interesting.
They like held them to some esteem.
It was like a god?
No, I don't think that was the implication, but like there was some like people of higher wealth saw value in them. Like similarly, peacocks were like the symbol of like if you had one, it was like
you got money,
more prestige. Mm-hmm. So in that realm, I believe they still ate them too. So it wasn't like a don't eat those. They still used them for food.
And plus, you figured the feathers are probably just very
yes,
sure,
So the name we know today as turkey, right, is likely from. There's a few different things that I read that there's no like hard evidence of where it's from, but very likely from trading that bird from Europe to Turkey. And literally, that was the bird they were chaining to people in Turkey.
Interesting.
Yeah, possibly. That's like their like.
That seems like
the running bet.
Boring.
I know. It's really. I'm sure there's a lot of different things to it, but they like. Yeah, we traded these birds to someone from Turkey, and that was it. So, 1541 is when they arrived in England, and then in North America at one point, we were just talking about this. There were 10 million turkeys in North America. By 1930, there were only 30,000.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yes.
Because they're tasty.
They're tasty.
They're big.
Think about the popular...
They're annoying.
Think about how popular Thanksgiving became around that time.
Oh, right. Yeah, of course.
And then also, just general expansion of, like, infrastructure, and lack of habitat, lots of things.
Of suburbia.
Yes, lots of things contributing to it, as well as hunting. So there was a reintroduction program that occurred in the 60s and the 70s. This went into several different states that had gone locally extinct or severely endangered.
Wow.
Vermont being one of them.
Interesting.
Yes, it didn't mention us, but
never thought of the turkey as being.
We were definitely low volume in turkeys for a while. As of 2019, the population has actually declined by 3%.
Since 2019?
Yes.
Ooh.
However, it's kind of skewed results because they're missing 12 states.
I feel like 3% is probably close enough to random variance that it's...
Yeah. And also hunting licenses for it have gone down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So there's like no correlation to overhunting or anything like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the wolves and the mountain lions.
That's true because those have been coming back too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Wild turkeys are omnivorous. They eat seeds, berries, bugs, foragers. Like I said, they can fly. They can fly up to 1/4 mile up into the air. Have you seen one fly?
I've not seen one fly, but I've seen many people talk about turkeys roosting in their trees.
Yes.
It is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Yeah. I was driving home from work one day, and my way home from work, like there's housing on one side with in like the trees, and then there's a field. Mm-hmm. So the turkeys were flying across from like the trees into the field. It is not a bird that looks like it should be airborne.
No, it doesn't.
It's not right. I don't like it. It was a good sized flock, so it was a decent number of turkeys in midair.
I bet when they poop on your car, it's really inconvenient.
I bet.
Probably dense. I mean,
yeah, it's probably like goose.
Yeah.
Goose poop.
Yeah, it was wrong.
It was wrong.
It was wrong.
I know. I've seen them roosting. They do go up into trees to roost, and I've seen them fly. I had one fly on top of my house. Not a short house either. It was a very tall house. I have a sneeze coming. I apologize. Holding my nose. Okay, so I'm past it. Let's see. Oh, they sun, they prune, they dust. Do you know what all that means? I just found out.
The sun, I would assume, means they chill in the sunshine.
So there's a specific reason why turkeys and all birds sun, and I didn't know this.
Because they're cold-blooded, because they're really reptiles.
No. Do you know why?
I assume it would be some... go on,
I know.
No, Andy is a non-joke answer. Go on.
Because birds aren't real, and they have to sun to charge their solar panels.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I said non-joke answer. The least you could have done is warn me.
Well, that's your fault for making assumptions.
I trusted you. More the fool I. I'm guessing it has something to do with parasites.
A little bit. Definitely. Yes. We'll lean into
not
that.
a solar panel.
No. So, all birds create like oils with their skin, just like humans, other animals, right? Mm-hmm. So sunning helps like disperse the oils.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
right.
The oil
and then that
heats up and
that
gets a little more runny.
Yeah,
and for the turkeys, they talk specifically about because they have so much skin, like their head neck region is not covered in feathers, so they're like
they're very oily. Faces.
Yes, and they need to break it up.
They have turkey acne.
They have an oily T-zone.
Yeah, so they have to break it up, let it fall through their feathers. It does aid in any kind of parasite
removal
treatment, as well as the pruning and the dusting. All of it has a place.
Is dusting when they roll around in the dirt?
Yes. Yep.
I knew that.
Okay, I don't know what pruning is.
It's just cleaning their feathers, pulling out old
preening?
ones. Yeah, sorry, preening.
Okay.
Does I call it pruning?
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I'm like, wait, they're like
they prune.
I don't talk right either, so I got it.
Like they're in the water too long and they get all pruny. Okay.
The little fingers.
Yeah, they're little. Or
Preening.
just their whole face because it's all their exposed skin.
Their fingers. Chickens have fingers. Oh, there's the turkeys. Never mind.
Chickens have fingers. So
On the
anyway,
menu.
preening. Sorry. And then they do all that, and then we did talk about them running, and we talked about kind of maybe that they could be aggressive. Have you heard of them being aggressive?
Sorta. Again, more the cat of the bird world where they'll hold up traffic for like 20 minutes and just don't care.
Yeah,
like, I don't know if that counts as the. I've heard them like kind of like pecking at people's cars and stuff.
And they're big enough that you don't just want to get out and move them.
Yeah. So
yeah. Because
Like,
it's like
kind of thing, if it's like a chicken, I feel like I would be comfortable going out there and like shooing a chicken off the road. I feel like turkey is on the far side of the, you know what? I'm not dealing with that line.
Yeah, and I think it's like when you're sitting in your 2-ton car and you honk your horn and the turkey just kind of looks at you and just stands there. You're like, I mean,
now what?
He's not afraid of me.
So I have heard of some instances where they're aggressive and actually like charge and go after people.
Oh, really?
Yes. And there was actually a whole, I want to say, Radio Lab episode from NPR that I listened to about it.
Interesting.
Because they didn't know how to solve the issue with this turkey that was like literally attacking everyone.
Okay. Are they territorial? Is that like...
They can be, but I found out why turkeys can be aggressive to humans. And it's because they have in their group a natural pecking order. And when they turn that to other species, it's because they just think you are also a turkey and you're not falling in line with the pecking order. So they're trying to maintain pecking order.
Okay.
Isn't that fun?
The ego of these birds to look at a 200-pound person and go, no, buddy, get behind me.
Yeah.
No.
So yeah, that's what turkeys do.
Interesting.
I've been avoiding saying it because what groups of animals are called is one of my like favorite things to find out, right?
Yeah.
They are rafters.
Rafters?
A rafter of turkeys is a group of turkeys.
That's
weird.
Do you know why?
Because they roosted in the rafters of barns?
No, I didn't find out
That'd
why.
be my guess.
Okay, I just didn't know if there was like
Sometimes there is like an appropriate reason they're called
like
that.
a Congress of Baboons.
Yeah. No.
Or
I like.
what's the other one? Is it oh man, is it one of them is a flange?
Yeah. Raccoons have a fun one. I forget what
but the
a bandit of raccoons or something.
The interesting thing is Monty Python was making a joke, and they referred to this group of animals as a flange, and then scientists actually have a sense of humor, so they started calling them a flange, and it all comes from Monty Python.
Wow. Yeah. And then just
Fish is looking it up.
An update on numbers of turkeys. There are 6.5 million today. So we have brought
Free, not the incarcerated ones.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I think. And
Orangutan.
Orangutan. I knew it was some sort of primate.
And then 30,000 of them in Massachusetts. 30 to 35,000. That's our, and there surveys done all the time. There was a big effort to try and bring back the turkey population,
which is great.
Yes, one of Ben Franklin's.
Ben Franklin's favorite. He wanted it to be the national bird.
Yeah, because he thought it was smarter than the bald eagle, which, in fairness, it probably is.
I would probably say that's true.
Bald eagle's kind of dumb.
Okay.
Also, like if you've ever heard like
a bald eagle cry,
it's sad.
It's not good.
It's lame. There's a reason they use.
It's not the.
That's a rail tail talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only thing I've ever heard about, not the only thing, but like the thing that I've heard recently about bald eagles is how like in Alaska and stuff, they're basically their seagulls.
Yeah, they are.
Where they just like go through like the dumpsters.
Yeah,
and
they're there.
Like, oh, that's weirdly accurate.
Yeah. Anyway, I have one more story to tell you about turkeys, me and turkeys, and it's the time I got to hold a wild turkey.
Okay.
So
it's like I want to ask questions, but I feel like I'm just going to listen to the story.
So as I'm driving by the wild turkeys the other day, I'm reminded of the time that I was actually going to the Thanksgiving Day parade in Plymouth. And my neighborhood has a lot of blind drives. It's a really loopy, swervy, like pond. Was once just, they built it around the trees and now some of the trees are gone. So it's really blind drivey. Mm-hmm. Someone had just hit a turkey. So me being a safe driver, I'm not going around or over the like blind hill too fast. And that's where it was. And I was like, oh my God, of course, on the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah.
The day
before, a couple days before they killed thousands of turkeys.
There's a turkey in the middle of the road. And I said, I better move him before someone else comes and like messes up themselves. Like that could go badly for them.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, oh, this poor turkey. So I'm like, I'll just grab it by the legs and get it out of the road. And I pulled over. I did just that.
Okay.
And I grabbed it by the legs. Still alive.
Yeah.
Didn't know that. Looked very dead. Was doing a great job. So I'm holding it by the legs. It then goes to take flight. It got a rush of like what is it? Adrenaline.
Yeah.
Because now a person is touching it.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to carry it upside down to the side of the road. It's literally like flying my arms into the air. It found strength I did not expect. I'm looking, the thing is looking at me full spread in the air. And I was like, what the is going on? Sorry.
That's all right. Fish can bleep that out.
And I bring it over to the side of the road, and I'm like, oh my God, because I did not expect to like handle a live turkey that day.
/ turkey kite.
Yeah. And I bring it over to the side. It's in rough shape. Like it was hit by a car, right?
Yeah.
So whatever strength it just found, like it lost it almost immediately as I put it down on the ground.
Yeah.
It like got kind of right into restful position, laid its head down on the ground. I then felt so terrible that I had made this turkey so scared and uncomfortable. Like, I think the human instinct is to comfort, right? So instead I waited 15 feet away behind a tree. In my neighbor's, this is in a yard. This is all happening in a yard. 15 feet away watching him just pass away.
Oh, that's sad.
Because I felt bad leaving him, like, unsure of how his
you
state
hold
was.
His claw and be like, I'm here for you,
because he doesn't want me to do that. Yeah. He just told me. That was crazy. That was the craziest thing that I literally was like.
That is such a Hanna story.
I literally was like, what's happening? Like, what? Holding a turkey by its feet as it's flying around. I really hope someone saw all of it happen. And and I waited.
And if you have video of that.
I do have a picture of him.
Do you?
Yeah,
but if they had video, someone had video.
Oh my God, it was crazy.
Struggling with
I feel like just following Hanna with a camera is probably a fantastic way to get amazing content.
It was crazy. It was so crazy. I literally was like, my heart was racing. Anyway, so poor turkey, but he passed on very quickly after that. So I felt very bad that I startled him so much, but happy to not have seen it gone anywhere.
Yeah.
And that is my wild turkey story.
That's a wild turkey story.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right. I think that's the part where we stop talking. I don't know how you can top that. And thanks for checking out the show today, listeners. If you enjoyed the content today, you can go over to patreon.com/Inebri-art to support the show. You can join over there for just a few dollars a month and help us provide this fun content that you just checked out. You can also email us at Inebri-art.com with your questions, complaints, and concerns, or you can find us on all social medias at Inebri-art or at Inebri-art6 on Instagram. And also don't forget to check out our other shows, Bar Talk Podcast, Old Colony Cast, Inebri-art, and all the other shows on the Inebri-art Network, which you can find at Inebri-art.com. Thanks again for listening.